Okay, in line with that, we have something referred to as LSOs, or locally shared objects, and these are also known as flash cookies. All right, so that's a type of cookie that's stored on your system by Adobe Flash. So it's out there pretty prevalently. And then with Adobe Flash, there is a security and a privacy concern because those cookies, those LSO, locally shared objects or flash cookies, they're not typically deleted when you clear cookies from your system. All right, so again, you hit that Control-Shift-Delete, or you go into your browser and say delete my history, forms, cookies, and so forth. You think you're good to go. Well, you're not, because these LSOs are not deleted. So they can be used to track a user's browsing habits, and it's also shared by all users. So if you have multiple users on a system, those LSOs get stored in a common location. All right, so that can also contain very personal information, such as your system name, your username, files used. It has a lot of capability to track, and can even do some types of browser fingerprinting where they give you additional information about your system. And by default, these LSOs will store up to 100 kilobytes of information, whereas a regular cookie will only store 4K. 25 times more information is stored in these LSOs than in a typical cookie, and they're not deleted when you typically leave a system. So you can imagine the security implications of this. And so if I'm a malicious person and I'm using Flash and I can now store cookies on your system, or kind of fingerprint and understand what types of users from a specific company are visiting, I can track them very specifically and perhaps get some information off of those individual PCs that wasn't necessarily intended to be given up by the actual users.